Well, my life was transformed by being adopted. I was, when I was just 4 months old, taken into the home of two people who didn't know me. They were taking a gamble on me. And they took me into their home and into their hearts. And as a result of that, I've enjoyed amazing opportunities. I literally can't imagine what my life would have been like if they hadn't been there and hadn't been prepared to take that risk on me. And because adoption is for good, forever, it means that when I was, in effect, taken into care, I was then given an opportunity to have parents throughout my life, and even now as I'm a parent myself, my mum and dad, as I think of them, because they are, they've been my parents for as long as I've been conscious and aware. My mum and dad are still there for me, and they're grandparents, and they sort of created the environment in which I was able to grow up and have a fantastic childhood.
And do you ever think about what would have happened to you if you'd stayed either with your birth mother, I think it was, who was probably more disadvantaged than your adoptive parents, or what your trajectory would have been like?
Absolutely. I mean, there are two things about being adopted that sort of prey on my mind. One is what might have happened if I hadn't been with my parents. What would have been my destiny, or how would my life have turned out? And I was lucky in that while my parents certainly weren't wealthy, I had a comfortable childhood and a loving and supportive home, and therefore I had the perfect sort of foundation on which to do anything that I wanted to do in an adult life. The circumstances which I might have faced might have been very different. I might have gone to a very different school without the sorts of teachers that inspired me. And when I look now at the different fates that children have as a result of where they're born, who their parents are, and where they go to school, it haunts me that the opportunities that some children have and others are denied are sometimes a matter of chance. And if we can do anything to get more children into homes which are warm and loving, where they have an opportunity to succeed and to flourish, then that's the least I can do to pay back my parents for the enormous risk and gamble, but enormously generous thing they did for me.
Do you ever want to trace your birth mother? Have you ever traced your birth mother? Do you look over your shoulder and wonder about her?
I'm naturally a very nosy person, and I used to be a journalist, so it's almost in my nature to want to find things out, to get to the bottom of any story. But funnily enough, one of the things I haven't done is seek to trace my birth mother, and that's partly because, in fact, really overwhelmingly because, I think of the people who adopted me as my mum and dad, and I think that if I were to try to trace my birth mother, I would in a way be suggesting to my mum that somehow the love that she'd given me wasn't complete, and I couldn't do that because, as far as I'm concerned, the love and care that my mum and dad gave me was total, and therefore I couldn't bear to do it because even though my mum said, of course, if you want to, you must. It's just one of those things where I wouldn't feel comfortable about suggesting in any way to her that she was anything other than my total mum.